If you are a coach and you are not creating your own GPTs, you are missing out. And if you have no idea what a GPT is, I want you to sit and listen and take some notes, because this is going to radically change the way that you show up. It's not only going to change the way you show up, but it's going to change the value that you bring to your community. So what is a GPT? A GPT is a customized virtual assistant that is hosted on the platform of ChatGPT. Yes, you probably used ChatGPT before and you're like, oh my gosh, this is great. But sometimes you don't know what to say to it. Or other times you're like, you're kind of sounding like a robot. I'm not feeling you. I want to be authentic to my voice. And so I'm just going to go ahead and create content on my own. Well, guess what? You are missing out, because ChatGPT does not have to work traditionally like a robot. You can customize it so that it fits your voice, and also helps your clients get bigger breakthroughs long after you have left the Zoom session. It used to take me a long time to come up with content ideas. I would struggle with analysis paralysis, trying to figure out what to say, how to say it, and what is the best content to put out on YouTube or on social media. But then I realized when I was going to ChatGPT, I would have to continue to ask it questions and create prompts. And it got overwhelming with trying to always reiterate my mission, my message, my voice. And it was more burdensome at points than it was helpful. And so because of this, I realized that I definitely wasn't the only one struggling with this. I decided to, instead of always having to go to ChatGPT and start over when it came to content creation, that I would create a virtual content coach. And I did exactly that. In less than 10 minutes, I created this virtual coach that understands my audience. It understands my message. It understands their pain points. And every time that I go into this GPT, all I have to do is tell it that I want to create a content calendar for, let's say, the month of December. And it asks me a few questions. I give it a few responses. And within a matter of seconds, it spits out a content calendar filled with the desires of my audience, their fears, their frustrations. So I'm never sitting at my desk trying to come up with these ideas. My custom GPT, in my language and in my voice, built out the content schedule for me. So maybe this will help you too. I have given you access for free, my custom GPT for content strategies. Once you sign up for the newsletter, in the link in the description below, you'll get access to that immediately for your content development needs. But if you want to create your own GPT for the unique problem that your audience has, let's say that you are a doctor, you're a physician, and you want people to not show up in your office when they have a medical issue only. You want them to practice self-care even outside of your office. So you want to create a GPT that can help solve some of their issues so that it won't build up into a bigger problem. So let's give an example. You want to help them with stress management, because, stress management will prevent them from having heart disease. So create a stress solution GPT. That way you can tell your email list of patients to, hey, I'm so happy that you came for your visit today. I want to give you a guide that will be with you when you have left the doctor's office. Click the link below to get access to my virtual stress management assistant. Now, of course, if you're a doctor, be sure to put all your disclaimers in. However, what they can do when they access this is type in, my dog died. How do I manage this stress? I'm not getting any time off of work. How do I manage this? And it will spit out content and information that you have programmed that reflects your voice and the advice that you would typically give. So now let's go to another example, and I'm going to actually demonstrate this to you, especially if you're on here and you are a coach, a speaker, and you're like, I have a book, I have a lot of content, and I have a lot of wisdom, but I can't be everything to everyone at the same time. Maybe you go to events and people are always asking, how can you mentor me? Or how can I get more involved? And you only have a certain type of client that you like to work with. Not everybody's a good fit, but everyone can benefit from your coaching using your custom GPT. So the first thing you must do is to log on to ChatGPT. You got to have a profile, so a paid subscription in order to create your own GPTs. But you go up to your profile picture and then go to the second option, My GPTs, and then click on the plus sign, Create a GPT. And it'll prompt you on what to do in order to create it. So it says, "Hi, I'll help you build a new GPT. What would you like to make?" So type in what you would like to make. For example, if you are a speaker and you focus on empowering young women, and every time that you speak, people are always saying, "Oh my gosh, I wish I had more information," or "I wish you could be my mentor." Well, you can't physically be everybody's mentor, but you can be their virtual mentor. So let's create a GPT that focuses on virtual mentorship. So let's explain to this particular GPT what we want to do. "Hi, I mentor young, troubled girls. I would like to be a virtual mentor to them." Okay. Here's the best part about it. If you have a book or some type of workbook or some type of content that you've created in the past, I want you to use it to mentor your audience. Okay. So for this example, you're mentoring young girls. So let's say that you wrote a book about 21 ways to be a woman of grace. And what you would do is, inside of this creation of your GPT, you would actually upload your book. So I'm going to give you an example of that. All right. So I found a document that I'm going to use, and it is a women's empowerment book. And so I'm going to keep the same example, which is creating a GPT to mentor young women, but I'm going to upload a book that speaks to about 17 elements of growing into a woman of grace. So it is relevant for this example. So, "Hi, I mentor young troubled girls. I would like to be a virtual mentor to them. Here is a copy of my book that I would like to base my GPT on." So when you're uploading a document, preferably a PDF, because I haven't tested out a Word document, but hopefully a Word document will work. But if not, I know for sure a PDF will work. So once you have it uploaded, simply click the arrow to submit. So they say, "Great, let me process this information from your book. I'll also need to know how you'd like this mentor persona to approach the girls. Should the tone be nurturing, direct, or perhaps a mix of both?" I'm going to say a mix of both. Here's another bonus tip. If you like the tone of someone that you admire, let's say you are a big Lisa Nichols fan or Iyanla Vanzant, and you like their nurturing tone, you could actually say, put it in the tone of Iyanla Vanzant. Let's try that here. Mix of both. Put it in the tone of Iyanla Vanzant. Now, of course, they are sticking true to your content and your style because you uploaded your book. However, you may want to speak or currently do speak like Iyanla Vanzant or Brene Brown. And so because that is the type of tone you already have or aspire to have, just adding that person's name to your GPT is going to help it come off even more authentic, even more warm, and less like a robot. So look, they have the title of the book, and they also mention the tone of the person who I put in there, which was Iyanla Vanzant. It says the mentor will be able to guide young girls through challenging emotions, help them find their self-worth, and encourage resilience by reflecting on themes like breaking cycles, discovering their potential, and cultivating self-love as emphasized in your book. Next, I'll help set up the tone and behavioral context for the GPT. Would you like me to focus on any specific chapters or themes from the book to highlight in its mentoring style? Look at that. They want to get so specific to your style that they're asking for the chapter And if you have that readily available, definitely add it here. I'll say discuss breaking cycles. And then it goes into the actual chapter and it says what they're going to help them do. Now, you may be asking yourself, now, if I ask them to focus on a specific chapter, will that limit them from being able to discuss other chapters? And the answer is no. They have access to the entire book. So your content is going to be relevant throughout the conversations that the mentee will have with your GPT. So if they have a question about something like, premarital sex or relationships, your GPT, even if you didn't focus on this particular topic in your book, they will be able to glean from what you would have said based on the content that already exists in your book. Do you understand? So if they know that you are a person who always use spiritual and scriptural references in your book, then your GPT will likely reference scripture as it pertains to a topic that you didn't specifically discuss in your book. That's how powerful this is. So it then starts to prompt you for additional ways to refine the GPT. So, but for the sake of this particular example, I'm going to stop right here and I want to actually test drive this GPT. Here's another cool thing. So this particular book didn't focus on the Christian side of women's empowerment. And so I want to make sure that the young ladies who get access to this GPT, they have Bible-based answers for for the questions that they're going to ask. And so I'm going to tell my GPT to add scriptural references from the Bible, and each piece of advice should be grounded on scripture. I also want them to include examples like metaphors and, make it conversational so that the student actually feels like they're talking to someone who's relatable. So the GPT, they're not going to ask you, a million questions before they actually create it for you. They're going to get to a point where they have enough information and they're ready to execute. But because I'm a little extra, I'm going to tell them to do one more thing before I'm ready to test drive this GPT. All right. So they said that GPT is now updated and they will include the metaphors and real life examples and make the advice more relatable while staying grounded in scripture and positivity. I love it. I love to see it. Awesome. And if you look at the right hand column, it is updating in real time what the GPT is all about. It's a virtual mentor offering faith-based guidance, positivity, metaphors, and scriptural support. So some of the things that it can be asked is, how can I break negative patterns in my life? How do I find my self-worth? What does the Bible say about overcoming fear? Can you help me see my challenges differently? Before we test drive it, we got to come up with a name. So let's say name this GPT. I'm just going to call it the name of my organization, Girls of Grace. The name doesn't matter per se, but it will allow you to easily reference it. Like when you're speaking, hey, make sure you go ahead and check out your virtual mentor, Girl of Grace, or make sure you go ahead and check out your virtual mentor, I'm the best. Whatever it is, it kind of creates a culture around what your movement is about. So my movement is about Girls of Grace for this example. And so I'm going to tell the chat to name this GPT Girls of Grace. And so when you can make this GPT public, and so anyone who has a desire to be mentored, faith-based, positivity, whatever your topic is, they can simply search ChatGPT and discover this, or you can make it only exclusive to the people who have the link. So as you see, it says, now your GPT is named Girls of Grace. Would you like to preview how it works or make any further adjustments? I'm going to go ahead and press create. And here's what I was referring to. Share GPT only me with anyone with the link or the GPT store. So I'm going to just share it with only me and click save. Oh, what's also cool is that inside of this builder, you can ask it to create a logo for you. So instead of having this little cube, it would actually have a very nice logo. Here is the link. You can always copy that and then it says View GPT. Before we test drive it, I just want you to see how you can go ahead and edit this GPT at any time by going back to My GPTs, click on Edit, and then, for example, I want to make a logo. So I'm going to say create a beautiful logo for this GPT. You can get more specific with the type of logo, whether you want it to be very colorful or if you want it to be minimalist. Whatever different things you like, you can ask them to include it and they'll do their best to represent your idea. So I want it colorful. Make it colorful and relatable for girls 12 to 18. And look at that. That is beautiful. I absolutely love this. I think this may probably be this may be the brand logo, right? It's so dope. So I'm going to go ahead and save that because this is inspiration right here. So one of the things that I wanted to show you was about, what if you talked about something, you didn't talk about something in your book that women or girls who are using this GPT may have questions about. So one of the things that I did not speak about was college, right? So let us ask the GPT a topic that they may not know based on the book, because I didn't write about it. How would they advise? So I'm going to type in something like, I'm thinking about going to college, but I don't want to leave my boyfriend alone. What advice would you give me? Oh, I love this. So they acknowledge the concern. I understand that you care deeply for your boyfriend, but it's important to recognize that college is a significant step for your personal growth and future. While relationships are valuable, they should not hold you back from pursuing your dreams and building your own path. In Winning from Within, the author talks about discovering your self-worth and potential. She emphasizes that your worth comes from within, and you must make decisions that align with your purpose, not just out of the fear of losing others. When you focus on growing yourself, you become stronger, more capable, and able to contribute more fully to any relationship, including the one with your boyfriend. And so the tone, as you can see, the tone is like relatable, like you feel like you're having a conversation, okay? And not only does the tone relate because we told them what type of tone we wanted, but also they are going to be authentic to your belief system, like your way of coaching and mentoring. It says, reference in the Bible, right? Don't conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This reminds us that growth often requires change. If your relationship is strong and built on mutual respect, your boyfriend will understand and support you in pursuing what's best for you, including college. Communication and trust can help both of you navigate this time of transition. Ultimately, follow the path that God has placed before you and trust that if this relationship is meant to last, it will, even if you're apart. Pursuing your education doesn't mean leaving your boyfriend behind. It means growing into the person you are meant to be. Come on. That is so boss. Like, I'm feeling it. I love this custom GPT. You call it a virtual coach, call it a mentor, but as you can see, it's powerful. And I definitely hope that you do it now so that you can replicate yourself and you can feel free to know that after you have left the stage and made an incredible impact, that you don't leave your people hanging, okay? Let them leave with something in their hand. And the best thing is to leave them with a coach that can be with them during those late hours when you're asleep, you're in a different part of the world, and they still need answers. They need solutions to the problems that they have. So this is one great way to empower your people. I hope you found that video extremely helpful. Go out and create your own GPTs. Listen, I'm Chantel, and I'm here to help you amplify your voice and build a bankable brand. Be sure to subscribe to not only this YouTube channel if you want to get more content like this, but also our newsletter, Create It for More, where you're going to get every single week actionable strategies to help you be all that God created you to be Your voice matters, your message matters, and you are absolutely created for more. So I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Until then, take care and God bless.